Today we're going to be reacting to Gordon Ramsay. He is a 3 Michelin star chef and has incredible food to offer. And if there is one thing that I have specialized on is cooking steaks. Today we're going to review, critique, and hopefully learn something from the GOAT himself. Do not disappoint me, Gordon Ramsay.
Right, the guide to cooking a perfect steak. Hot pan. The secret here is to make sure that we literally sear the steak and not boil it. Season it.
What happens is a lot of people don't get the pan super hot and then it just starts steaming the steak.
First, beautifully done. Get some nice large grains of pepper so you got a nice bit of heat.
I am against that. If you get large size of grain of peppers, what happens is they get stuck on your teeth. So I like a finely crushed. And a lot of people think that if you do that, you burn the pepper, and that is not true. I've done a full experiment on it. Pepper does not burn. When you're cooking it with the steak, you're actually toasting it as it's being cooked with the steak. The juices of the steak will not allow the pepper to burn.
All that seasoning and sort of push in. The four most important parts to make sure you take them out of the fridge 20 minutes before you actually start cooking them.
What? What did he say?
What did he say?
Fridge 20 minutes before you actually start cooking them.
I have tried to take out the steaks before. It makes absolutely no difference, everybody. What happens is when you take the steak out of the refrigerator and you leave it on the countertop sitting down, it will not get to room temperature that fast. Honestly, 10 minutes is just not a huge difference.
Stone cold in the center, you're gonna have to overcook it on the outside. Pan's just started smoking, touch of oil in, roll that round, and then just lay the steaks away. Always away from you.
Good, always lay the steak away.
That's the kind of noise you want to hear in the pan every time.
Yep.
That nice sear. Again, pair of tongs, turn it over very carefully. Literally 30 seconds in the pan, you can see the color.
Yep.
Beautiful. That layer of fat on the back of the sirloin, you want to render that down as well. That's it there. So hit that into the pan.
So a lot of times if the steak has a nice layer of fat like a New York strip as this one is, I like to start searing that first. What that does is that will coat the whole entire pan with a little bit of that grease. That way you can actually avoid the olive oil which is starting to cook with. Olive oil is not really the best for cooking steaks on a pan. That's because it has a very low smoke point. Using something like a grapeseed oil will give you better results and not give you any off flavor. But if you want the best results, use the fat from the steak itself since it's right there for you to render anyway.
Pan to your advantage. Tilt the pan, let all that hot fat, olive oil run down the back, and it starts to sear the steak even better. You put a little bit of garlic in.
He had the good idea. Wow, he's gonna add the garlic right now.
Just lightly crush, and then that gives a really nice flavor to the steak. Turning every minute so you got that nice even color.
I love it. He's saying that turn that thing every minute. Unlike other chefs, and actually himself before, he says only flip the steak once. That is not true, everybody. Flip the steaks as many times as needed to get the nice, beautiful golden crust, and it will also cook the steak evenly. That is the right way.
And if you're turning your steaks every minute, it starts to cook evenly. A little bit of thyme. It's really nice to get that nice fragrant.
I agree. Thyme is fantastic.
And a touch more. I quite like my steaks rare, so rare's here, opposite the palm, at the top. Medium is there, and well done is at the top of your wrist.
That is the worst advice you can give somebody to do. My hand is much stronger than Gordon Ramsay.
Boom. Roasted.
My nephew's Angel is much skinnier. My wife's hand is even skinnier than that. So if you think the same amount of pressure between here and my hand is going to be the same for somebody that haven't cooked steak like you have millions of times, is impossible. Use a thermometer, everybody. Your steak will be perfect every single time and there's no guessing. I've even seen professional chefs get it wrong from time to time.
Start off with my butter.
Butter.
Little knobs of butter.
Yep.
And this is where the steak starts to take on a completely different flavor. Tilt the pan, then just baste the steaks. That fried thyme, that garlic, nothing burning. And that's why we started off with olive oil.
So many chefs actually burn the butter and instead of becoming nice golden brown, it becomes just black. I'm guilty of that myself. I have made that mistake. But if you want the perfect steak, it must be nice and golden brown. It's called the Maillard reaction and it's what makes the steak taste better. Don't let your butter burn. It'll just taste like shit.
Get the garlic, sort of brush the garlic over.
Oh, I like that idea. You see, he did not peel his garlic. What I like to do is crush my garlic and remove all of the skin. This will produce more flavor into the steak. There's nothing wrong doing it this way, but I like my garlic golden brown. I would definitely recommend removing the skin.
The gas, take them out. Beautiful.
Yep.
Let them rest.
Let them rest, baby.
And off. And then from there, slice.
So for a steak like this, I will let it rest for 4 minutes. That's enough. Let's see, Gordon, if it's medium rare.
Going on to medium rare.
Oh, you're not going to show it to us? Wait.
Delicious.
You didn't show us the result? Wait. What do you mean you didn't show us the result? Do you think he messed it up? Do you think he did? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks.
10 amazing tips to nail the perfect steak. Tip number 1, take the protein out of the refrigeration unit and let it rest to get up to room temperature for at least 10 minutes before you cook it.
That is not going to work, everybody. I have debunked this myth. If you want to watch the full video, the reason why and how long it actually takes, check out the card above.
Number 2, season it heavily.
Yes.
Because you lose 35% of the seasoning the minute it goes in the pan.
100% agree on this one. A lot of people are afraid of adding too much salt, and I understand why, because you don't want to oversalt the steak. However, when you go in a steakhouse, they put a lot of seasoning in there. They want to make sure that you feel it. Yes, you can adjust the steak in the end and add more salt, but it will never be the same. And as soon as you're cooking it on the pan, you're going to leave a lot of that seasoning behind on the pan itself. The same thing goes with butter. Whenever you do butter basting, make sure you add a lot of butter.
So, salt, pepper, freshly ground pepper, roll it in the seasoning, and then literally season it again just before it goes to the pan. Number 3, make sure when placing the steak into the pan or on the grill, you lay it away from you.
Yes.
Never drop it towards you for fear of splashing hot oil on your arms, and you've got more control when you're laying away.
I agree 100%.
Tip number 4, for me, it's all about the searing. Make sure you have an amazing sear on that steak, and don't turn it unless it's colored. Remember, no color, no flavor.
Well, he's just contradicting himself right now. Don't turn it until you have color. And he flipped that steak many times. Flip the steak as many times as necessary, everybody. How are you gonna know if it's a nice golden brown crust if you don't flip it and you look at it? Also, if the steak is extremely thick, you gotta keep flipping it so you cook evenly. But I think the most important takeaway from this is a crust. A nice, beautiful steak crust will make your steak better. Remember this. Grill marks are for show. You want a nice golden brown crust. It will look better, and most importantly, it will taste better.
Number 5, think about fragrance. Ladies, especially when you dress up beautifully, you put some perfume on. Men, you wear aftershave.
My perfume is a perfume of steak and sweat and barbecue, everybody. Hopefully that's a good one and you enjoy that.
Aromatics, garlic, thyme and rosemary. If you can put some garlic in there, some thyme and rosemary, it will make that steak way more fragrant.
I agree with him, but I think that rosemary is a little bit overpowering for steak. I almost never use it. Thyme is fantastic. Orange peel is incredible. Lemon peel is also great, but rosemary is just a little bit overpowering for me.
6, for me this is a super important tip. Put a tiny knob of butter into the pan.
They are not cheap with the butter. They want you to have an incredible experience whenever you go to their steakhouse. So they use a lot of butter, and there's nothing wrong with that. Here's what most people don't understand. You're not going to be eating all of that butter. You're just looking for that incredible Maillard reaction as you're basting the steak. And for that, you need quite a bit of butter. Adding like a half a teaspoon in there is just not going to work.
Before you take that steak out, and make sure you baste it with that butter. Let the butter caramelize, and it gives that really nice nut brown flavor on top of that steak.
I agree 100%.
Number 7, the minute you take the steak out of the pan or off the grill, you have to let it rest.
Yes.
I promise you now, if you let it rest, it's going to be so much juicier.
It will be juicier in the end. Sometimes you don't want to compromise the amount of resting time with the temperature as you're eating the steak. I really enjoy a nice hot steak, everybody. So you got to play that fine line, but not cross that line. Letting it rest will allow the fibers to relax, so it's not going to spit out all of the juices as it's being cut. But at the same time, a nice hot steak is nice, so don't overdo it.
Number 8. When slicing a steak, never slice it too thin. To maximize on the flavor and to keep it moist, keep it at least half a centimeter thick.
I agree with that to some extent. Here's the deal. If your steak is a cheap steak, on $1 steak for example, you want to cut that thing real thin. Cutting that thing too thick is going to be like shoe leather. However, if you're doing a nice prime steak or a choice grade like a New York strip, definitely cut it thicker.
Tip number 9, for me, is the most important one. It's about the temperature you'd like your steak cooked. So medium rare, you close your eyes and touch and take your pulse, because exactly there is the same.
I don't understand why he keeps preaching this.
Lightly bouncing. It gives a little bit, but it's just soft enough to understand that it's meat.
Guys, this does not work. Look at my hand. Look at his hand. Nobody has the same amount of fatness and muscle like me. So however my hand feels right here is not the same how yours is gonna feel. Use a thermometer. It is the best way to know and be the most precise. Nothing will beat it. I much rather be precise than have a big ego. Use a thermometer.
And my final tip behind any great steak, make sure you got someone to share it with. Enjoy.
That was a great tip, and definitely that's one of the reasons I cook for my guys and my family. I love to cook for them. I love to see the reaction when they enjoy a steak, and I also like to see the reactions when they don't enjoy it. Because let's be honest, sometimes it's just kind of funny. That's terrible. Hey, meow meow, what you doing over here? Hey, what? We're making a video. No, I'm not gonna. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. Let us know what you want us to react to next, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.